Hi guys, Artiar here. So for this video is about the Momo's as per guide. So I will be separating into a few parts. You can use the timestamp to go for the session you want to go check it out. So the first part here I'm going to go through is the simplified skill kit. I'm briefly go through what Momo is able to do, and then I'll go through the equipment suggestions, stats to focus, and then the resonance. Okay, so let's start. So first thing, Momo is a fighter, flow type fighter that have a leader buff of giving PvP content that not including triple threats 40% of attack leader buff, which is very nice because Momo need a lot of attack. Okay, then for the simplified skill kit here, S1 deals 1 damage, damage to one enemy, but it's true damage. This damage here is actually multi-hit as well, and every time before Momo hits, it dispels 1 buff, then inflict buff blocker. If not mistaken, the S1 here is actually 2 hit, which means Momo have 2 chance to dispel your buff and then inflict buff blocker as well. Then after casting S1, Momo will increase AP by 10% and will further increase another AP push by every single speed you have. So let's say you have 10 speed, then this AP push will be extra 1%. So if you have 100 speed, then you'll get another AP push 10%, which is a total of 20%, which means you can consider every time Momo cast S1 will get a 20% AP push, let's say. So if you cast more, the more you cast S1, the more AP push you're able to get from this S1. So it's a very good thing here, but it's not necessary to build Momo a speed unit here. Okay, then for the passive is Art of Evasion. At the start of each round, and when she get her turn, we'll gain 1 stack of Wrath. So at the start of combat, you already get 1 stack, and then every time she get her turn, she also get 1 stack of Wrath. Then she already have a passive, which is damage taken reduced 10%. This is permanent forever, and then crit rate minus 100%, and then damage recover HP. So which means Momo actually not able to crit because it's true damage as well. Okay, true damage cannot crit, true damage cannot benefit from defend down, cannot benefit from seer, all those damage increase thing. Okay, and then when Momo damage, she also recovers HP. So she have a Hades set in build in her own kit as well, so she doesn't need to build Hades because she has her own lifesteal. But if you want to do more lifesteal damage, then maybe you can build with Hades, which I don't really recommend. Then when an enemy act outside of their turn, so let's say like Sujie or like Ollie or like Wu Yu or like Anna, all these Esper that they take their action that is not supposed to be their turn. Let's say Anna counter attack, let's say they trigger Avatara, let's say Sujie trigger the R2 effect, so someone die and then Sujie will counter attack, right? So all these things that happen that they trigger within not their turn, like Assist of Pursuit also counts. Then Momo will counter attack with her S1, which is the true damage one, that can dispel and then buff blocker and then AP push herself, and then she will get 1 stack of Wrath as well. So the more Wrath you get, the more stronger you get as well, and then the more people counter attack, the easier stat you can get from the Wrath. But this thing only trigger once per turn. So let's say enemy Anna counter attack already, and then you already trigger your passive, and then Feng Shun follow up with a pursuit attack, which you should trigger as well, but you already trigger on that turn, so you're not able to counter attack on Feng Shun, something like that. Okay, but you keep note is, so let's say Momo is not on her turn, and then you do some let's say Anna counter attack, and then you trigger the Art of Evasion, so you do S1, this AP push also counts, so which is a very good thing to actually self AP push by Momo herself. Then for S3 is pretty straightforward, which is dispel all the buff from the target, then inflict buff blocker for 2 turns, and then deal true damage to the target 3 times. So it's a multi-hit damage. Okay, what is Wrath? So Wrath here is an undispellable buff. Each stack increase attack by 4% and damage taken by 1%, max 10 stack, which means each stack you're going to increase your attack by 40% maximum. Alright, when you're max stack, and then your damage taken is reduced by 10% when you're max stack. So 10% here and then another 10% here, which is a total of 20% damage taken reduced, which is a very strong buff here. Then every time your damage is dealt, so let's say you're using S1 or using S3, you inflict another extra true damage. Okay, so this true damage here is based by per hit. So let's say your S3 here is hitting 3 times, so we'll trigger this extra true damage 3 times. So this one here will trigger 2 times, then here 2 times, something like this. Okay, then each stack of Wrath also will increase the final damage by 30%, but this effect only apply in PvP battle. So let's say you have 10 stack of rough, then this final damage is actually increased by 300%. This 300% not including here, not including the skill, is only including this extra true damage apply. Okay, then for the definite wise, I would suggest minimum to get her to D3, because the D3 effect is when she casts her S3, she will have a 100% chance of getting attack up, and she needs the attack up because through that her skill, all her damage scaling is based on attack. Okay, so and she's a very stats hungry expert. Okay, then let's go for the equipment suggestion. These are the equipment I would suggest to actually use on her. So the first one I'll go through is Astro Set. So Astro Set is why after you cast S1 after damage with AP push, right? So Astro Set can actually make her to cheat extra turn, means extra AP push. So let's say I already cast S1 to damage enemy, I get a let's say 20% AP push, then I trigger Astro Set, then I cast S1 again, and then I get another 20% AP push. So when I end my turn, I'll actually become 40% AP push at the start of combat. So it's make my Momo turn faster, and the more turns she get, the more Astro stat she proc, the more AP push she get, and then the more stack easier to get as well, because every time she take her turn, this including Astro set. So it's faster to stack, more damage, more AP push, and more true damage at the same time, which is a very good set on Momo. But if you don't really like the Astro set kit, you can also go for War set, because all her damage are true damage. True damage doesn't crit, so you cannot build Thunder, and because her attack, the true damage attacks skill, the damage scaling is actually based on a pure attack. So getting War set on her is also good just to pump up her attack. Okay, but I actually there's a few more set here that's also recommend or could be usable in her set, like Hades set, or someone built her with like stun set, which I don't really recommend building them, because I do think Astro set and War set is better. But there's two other set which is also pretty good, which is the stun set and the Hades set. Okay, then for the two set piece here, we'll recommend Relief set, Brawler set, and Avatar set. So for Relief set here, because Momo S1 is one of her main DPS, right? So every time enemy counter attack or acts outside the turn, Momo will always counter attack with her S1. So her S1 is actually her main DPS output. So oh, this is 4 set, sorry. Relief set can also help her to S1 more often. Okay, every time when your team casts S1, she have a chance to use S1 to DPS and then also AP push herself. So you can build a very slow Momo with Relief set, so she can just keep on assist with S1 and then AP push herself to get the turn more quickly. Then here I will mention, which is the Brawler set, because Momo S1 very often, including her Art of Evasion that make her able to counter attack with S1. So using Brawler set will make her S1 damage even higher, and not to mention the Brawler set is able to make her S1 damage stackable as well, and this thing also applies to true damage, which is I would say is the best in slot set for Momo. Then the next one will be Avatar set. It's just something when you get hit, you want to have some RNG chance to use S1 to counter attack. When you counter attack, you also get some lifesteal because of the passive here. So it's also a pretty good set. When you get hit and then you S1, you counter attack, you can also self heal yourself, right? So how it matters is like you want her to go for more damage on S1 or some RNG on the Avatar set. Both work very well as well. Then for the stats to focus, I will recommend highly focus on attack, because that's where all her damage is, or else you will actually see her damage is very low. And then attack is more important than speed, then speed is as important as HP and defense, and then more important than accuracy. Why accuracy is because she still needs some accuracy for dispelling the buff and also applying the buff blocker, so some accuracy is good. And why HP is defense is because Momo is pretty squishy, to be honest, and then you cannot just build her tanky because you still need attack for the true damage. So she's a very stats hungry Asper, because you want a lot attack, you want a decent speed, and at the same time you want some HP and defense to maintain her survivability. Even though she have already damage taken reduced, but overall she's still pretty squishy, so she's very stats hungry. Alright, so no crit rate and crit damage. This is a must thing. You have to not put any crit rate and crit damage on her. It's just a waste stats. Then for resonance wise, R1, it will already further reduce damage taken by 10%. So this 10% here plus the rough stack 10% plus the passive 10%, which is actually a 30% damage taken reduced. But even though with the 30%, she's still squishy, so she kind of need decently high HP and decently defense as well. Then for R2, when inflicted with non-control debuff such as attack down, defend down, speed down, taunt, all these things, there's a 30% chance of nullifying them, and each stack of the rough increase this chance by 7%. So if you have a 10 stack of the rough, then you have a 70% chance plus 30%, which is a 100% chance of nullifying the non-control debuff. So this nullifying is not dispel, it's different. So this nullifying is not even applying the debuff on Momo, the debuff is already gone. So you cannot use Tricky to counter Momo, because Tricky is when you dispel the buff, then Momo will get stoned. But for Momo case R2 is when you're gonna apply non-control debuff on Momo, the moment you want to apply is already gone. So you cannot use Tricky to or use R4 through to counter Momo in this way. Then for R4 it's actually same as R2, but it's including control debuff now. So R2 is only non-control debuff, which means Momo still can be stunned, still can be freeze, still can be stoned, but R4 is including debuff, so which means like Tolan's S3 or like shield or like stun, all these things will not apply on Momo anymore. But of course at first it's RNG chance, but if you let Momo stack up until 10 stack, then it's a 100% chance of not getting any debuff at all, because when you get R2 and R4, non-control debuff and control debuff already all apply. Then for R6 is when an enemy acts outside of the turn, Momo gains 2 stacks. So instead of getting 1 stack 1 by 1, you're gonna get 2 stack, which is you stack faster. And the rough stack here also increase another effect, which is miss rate by 10%, reduce the miss rate by 10%, and increase the healing received by 3%. So if you go to max stacks, you actually reduce the miss rate by 100% and increase the healing received by 30%. So the R6 wise is a faster stacking, but the miss rate here and healing received is something good, but it's not really that important. So the miss rate here, like since true damage is not able to miss, why should I still need to reduce my miss rate? So this one I already asked them, asked the devs before. So what they reply is because the dispel and also the buff blocker will actually get affected by miss rate. So this thing here is actually for the dispel and the buff blocker. It's not about the true damage thing. And then the healing received will benefit the damage from recovery. So it makes the Hades effect on Momo even better, something like that. So final conclusion in terms of resonance, so every resonance on Momo is very good. So either than R1 or R2 or R4, every single resonance on her is just good. So good luck. Good luck in getting her in championship. So for those who are not getting Momo yet, no worries, because what they told me is they're gonna rotate championship more often. So we should be able to get Momo in the future if you're still not able to get from the leaderboard, as long as you're able to get the base reward. Okay, then I'll show you my own Momo as well for a reference here. Okay, so this is my Momo. So we go to the preparation room here. So my own Momo build is like this. Okay, this Momo here currently have no definite, no resonance. I already skill her max, but this is the stats. Okay, so I'm going for Astro set and Brawler set, like the one that I recommend in the infographic, because I think this is the best set or the best way to build on Momo. So you can see my stats mainly focus on attack, so I'm going for attack ring, attack headphone, and attack Brawler set boots as well. Then the sub stats I'm mainly focused around some speed and mixture of attack. Okay, so speed, defense, accuracy, attack, then defense, speed, HP, defense, HP, accuracy, attack. So you can see it's very clean. You don't want any crit rate or crit damage at all. At the early phase, some resist is good, but if you are actually like looking forward for more future proof thing, so in the future when you get R2 or R4, you doesn't even need resist as well. So in my current set already doesn't have any resist, but having some resist is okay, just that as long as you don't have crit rate and crit damage. Okay, so you can see all my main stats are surrounding around here, but the main focus is still on attack. So speed wise is I get it to plus 68, so it's around 173 speed. So every time when I hit with S1, I actually get like 25% AP push every time I cast S1. So if I trigger Astro set, I cast S1, I trigger Astral Set, I cast S1 again, so I'll instantly get a 50% AP push. So when the next round comes, my Momo have actually a easier time to get her own third, right? Something like this. Okay, so feel free to comment down how do you think about Momo guide, or what kind of build you actually build on Momo. Feel free to share as well. Okay, so hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is Gen MP, Roses15, Molcult Rajali, the Bluest Chulain, thank you so much for the support. And for the supporter and patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Code Wilderness, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwaltz, Rimu, Shawnee, Von Hexa, Luxley, Rawson Bessie, Antonio Winterspoon, Noah Archive, and Marlene Williams. Thank you so much for the support, and special thanks to everyone who have been 1 month, 2 month, and 4 months straight in my support. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.